Paranormal podcast. And it's this
Yeah.
week of weird.
Oh
everyone.
shit, we're doing it. Hello. Welcome.
This week of weird. I'm Roger, joined by Jordan and
Hello.
Nate, and with a very special guest this week,
The lovely Katie Bowman.
Welcome,
Hello.
Katie, to
Thanks for having me.
the panel of strangeness.
Katie
We should have a
Bowman
name
is
for
an
ourselves.
artist, a comedian. Are you a psychic as well? Do you speak with the dead? These are things I've never asked. Do you do those things?
I talk I think to the dead, like I have thoughts to them, like it's like a telekinesis to the dead, but I don't say it out loud.
What powers
and
does everyone have?
I also think because I'm a Cancer, I can actually feel how people are feeling.
Empath is what that's called.
I'm a fire. I'm a fire starter. I'm a classic level
You're a
1
Drew Barrymore?
fire starter.
That's insane that
You're a
I was going to say the
sign?
same exact thing, that I can start fires with my hands.
Nice.
Your
Dude, I'm a
hands.
Zodiac killer. I killed 20 to 30 people from 1964 to 1974.
Because the
The people
Zodiac
who
told
did
you
it in
to.
1978 were not me.
It was all because his horoscope said every day. And I think that your quarrel is with the people at that newspaper who kept printing horoscopes that said, "Kill your neighbor," the dog said.
Yeah.
Love the dog.
That's not the
I
news
thought
we're
it said
talking about
Capra
this week.
kill.
That's not the news we're talking about this week. We'll get to my crime spree another week.
Mhm,
My
mhm,
immortal, long-lasting crime spree.
mhm, mhm.
This week, we're talking about construction workers encountering ghosts.
Okay, shit. Love that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Love
That's
to hear
cool.
it. There's
And go on.
There's a famous story of, maybe you're going to touch on it. The guy working who sees the Roman Legion.
No, I'm not, but that is a good
England.
story.
There's a really good story about this guy who's he's working on the pipes, and he turns around and sees in some basement what appears to be a whole Roman legion coming through the wall, and he says that they were cut off at the shins, and they actually determined that a road would have been much lower back then. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Something similar though.
yeah,
And if you
You're
like
frozen
what we
in
do,
time.
right.
and if you like what we do, please check us out on Instagram, Twitter.
Mhm.
Give us a 5-star rating wherever you can too. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher.
Give us those stars. What are you doing with them?
You're not doing anything with those stars right now. Give them to us. Feed
Forward
us.
them over.
And also for those of you who recently did
Done.
review us with 5 stars, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the stars.
If you review us with 5 stars and put a comment, we'll thank you personally on the air and say your comment out loud.
Stars on podcast reviews is actually what powers podcasts.
And we have enough to survive. We can keep the radar running on star or what stars we have in our blood. But we can use some
5-star
more.
reviews alone.
And if
Yeah,
you
we
really
can,
want to support us, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolf radar.
Mhm,
And you
mhm.
can get crazy and amazing paranormal extras, such as merchandise drawn by Jordan Dahl himself,
That's true.
monthly
Merch,
fiction from me
including
and Nate,
mug.
and who knows what else we can dream up in the future. But now let's
Who
go into this
knows?
horror story of construction workers.
I'm working on a Patreon tier where me and Nate come and haunt your house.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
I'm going to wear
I like that
a
one.
shirt made of stickers,
And then
which will be available.
And then at the next Patreon tier, Roger and Katie come and scare us out of there and
Mhm.
unhaunt your house.
Now,
We get Ghostbusted. It's a whole thing.
We get Ghostbusted.
very
they trap
fun.
us in a garbage bag.
you will be featured on your local 9 o'clock news.
You'll be like, I don't know what any of this was.
Just like
It's a little bit like when Maria Bamford did a whole special just for her parents.
Yes.
It was so good though.
now, and this is, as Jordan said, a tale about construction workers in England. English
Yes.
construction workers were witnesses to a number of paranormal events while renovating the historic Kiora Hall in Stockton, England. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
I don't know that one.
Kiora.
Sure.
Kiora?
Yeah.
So two home
Piora.
builders, Ashley and Nathan Sellars, are mystified by paranormal incidents at Kiora Hall in Stockton, England. You can read
Cool.
more about this at werewolfradar.com, of course. In
Far
my
out.
opinion, someone definitely walks around on the hallway. I've honestly never known anything like it. It's incredible, Ashley said about his experiences.
Interesting.
Kiora Hall, for those who do not know, is a historic building in the Stockton area. The building was built in 1877, somewhat new by English
British
standards,
Sure.
being used as a hospital, school,
Oof.
community center,
Oof.
prisoner of war camp,
Ooh.
and a home for a
Wow.
family.
Okay.
One very
all at
nice
the
thing
same
at the very
time?
end.
No, at different
Was the
times.
family at the very end?
This is it.
I like
Literally, that
Nate's.
is the last people to have the home, and now it's being renovated for a school for autistic children.
Wow, that is
No
like
more families.
yeah, no
Wow.
more families. They tried it with a family once, and it did not work.
We'll go into the person who lived there
I-
soon. They
that
have
is-
a nice quote.
That is such a list of like that. Like if you were trying to haunt a place, like those are the things you would want it to.
Like when you're a
previously
ghost
be.
looking for a new place to haunt.
Yeah, a hospital for prisoners of war, a cruel school for foolish
It's like
children.
kind of sounds like it's like a group activity for all the ghosts. Like everybody's
It's really
haunting that place.
this place has got a real open door policy on the ghosts.
I do like the idea of ghosts having group.
Yeah,
We're
like
gonna
they're
come
just
and we're
doing
gonna
some
have some wine and
yoga.
paint.
Oh, where are you haunting these days? You're in the White House. My
I have
God. Oh, they think you're Lincoln? That's hilarious.
So the
Like
building,
a ghost Zumba. Sorry.
Yeah.
the ghost or the
Zumba,
building,
if you will.
the
A
building is
ghost
claimed
Zumba.
to be home to a number of ghosts, shadow figures, disembodied voices,
Yeah.
and two identifiable spirits locals call the Gray Lady and the Officer.
Oh, the gray lady and the officer.
Wow.
Nathan said,
the gray
"It's been-
lady.
It's been the
Mhm.
talk of the site, and the locals mention the Gray Lady all the time. It doesn't spook me particularly. I just find it fascinating. Whatever it is, it's harmless."
What's her deal? Did they have stats on the gray lady?
We got
Well-
some stats, but first, now despite
think it's-
this claim, go on.
Given that there's an officer, I assume the Gray Lady just occasionally gets real mad and wants to talk to a manager at the house, and the officer has to
Lady.
come in and tell her, "Hey, look, you can't be doing this."
You're thinking
Now
of the white.
this-
You're thinking of the white
Yeah.
lady.
Now, despite Nathan's
I
bravery,
am.
that's solid.
Different
Jordan,
ghost.
though. Despite Nathan's
The
bravery,
gray lady. It could be like a 50 Shades of Gray lady.
Yeah, she's a crazily
Go
kinky
for it.
ghost.
There's just a kinky ghost.
Yeah, the general is
Get
you know,
back
he
in your
wasn't
bones, man.
I'll tell you, the general wasn't in any army.
if you're familiar with
That
the
hat
werewolf
is made
radar,
of leather.
if you're familiar with the werewolf radar erotica, the vampire and the werewolf, switch those out with the Gray Lady and the officer.
And the
And
officer.
the officer. Damn
Oh,
it,
by
I
the
thought it
way,
was
the fiction I
general.
write is erotica. If you want vampire erotica every month, join our
Who doesn't?
Patreon.
Who doesn't? Could you imagine?
By the way, I'm not writing erotica. Sorry, everyone. If you want me to
Imagine-
write erotica, I will try, but I don't feel comfortable.
the vampire touched the
don't
werewolf's
think-
many boobs? I don't
Maybe
know.
I would-
that's the kink. That's the kink.
I would love
is that
to
you're
read.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So back to the story about two people who are very
Okay.
comfortable in this ghost house.
Mhm.
Despite their I guess comfortability and bravery, two of their plumbers fled the building one night when paranormal events became too intense.
Being any kind of serviceman, a builder, a plumber, an electrician in Britain sounds like a fucking haunted ghost train of a life. You're ju-
yeah.
every other knob you turn, every floorboard you
Yeah.
tip over, just
Constantly
torrents
plunging
of
Viking
ghosts.
skulls.
Every
I'll-
toilet you sit on.
Truly.
We had Ashley said we had 2 plumbers working on their own one at 1:00 in the morning when they heard voices and footsteps
Yeah.
and ran out as fast as they could.
There's a place in Denver that had a similar occurrence. They were trying to do renovations and they couldn't keep any builders in the place because people were messing with the tools and work
Mhm.
was being like undone and ruined, and they were like, somebody's coming in overnight and fucking it up. And they actually
That's hilarious.
they got dogs in. They put 2 dogs in, and
Oh no.
yeah, no, it didn't go great. Like one of the dogs like jumped through a window or something. And, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, there
There's-
was an event, like something
Construction
scared
workers
them.
don't
so
like
bad.
talking about it. This comes from a story from friend of the show, Rick Bryan.
They
Uh-huh.
don't
And,
talk about it. That's
Well,
funny.
he's
Uh-huh.
done work in the Colorado mountains.
Yeah.
And one time him and his cousin were doing late night work similar to this, but up
Sure.
in the mountains. So they just like, we're going to stay in the place, work,
it,
then
yeah.
sleep, then continue work and finish the
Yeah.
job. And around 3-ish, 2-ish, 3-ish, he said there was a loud metallic bang in the room they were in.
Crazy.
Cranked on the lights.
Oh.
Nothing was there. Nothing even fell over that they could find. The bang
Crazy.
happened again. And then they just fucking slept in the truck, finished the job in the morning,
Boy,
Good
yeah,
night.
time to get out.
which is what the plumbers
Wow.
did here.
Crazy.
I can't sleep in this condition.
Yeah.
So the
Oh.
Sellars, Nathan and Ashley,
Oh, okay.
themselves experienced many paranormal events that they could not explain. Nathan was chopping up the wire, which is forcing it up. They were installing wire.
God, this thing is just a minefield of British claptrappery.
I know. I'm just
He was-
picturing all these characters speaking
In
British
America, we
British
would say,
accents.
Totally.
he's pushing wire, but then it's a fun little euphemism as well for electricians.
He was doffing up the cords while
Yes.
Jessica primmed down the crim-crom. What?
So
What's
he's
happening?
pushing up
Yes.
wire into the attic to run it throughout the building for lighting fixtures. When someone pulled it up through the gap for him,
Yikes!
and there
Yikes!
was no one up there.
Well, that's a nice ghost.
That is a nice
They just
ghost.
help
That's
you
yeah.
out.
it. They're like,
Like it didn't say it
Oh,
pulled it
okay.
from my hands. It just like, I got you, buddy. Let me
get it.
get you past this little curve.
I get it, but that's just
It's
scary.
like- he did. What if
It's
someone
pro-
like spanked his butt like a baseball bat? Like, gotcha.
Which has happened before. That is a thing ghosts have been known to do. In the Grave Nugget, before you got here, Katie, there was a
Mhm.
pinching
We had
ghost
pinching
in
and pulling
Pittsburgh.
hair.
There was a handsy ghost who was pinching people at a
Handsy
baseball
ghost.
game.
So
This
Ashley,
just sounds
Oh
like
my
maybe the ghost of
gosh.
the first plumber who died there.
Yeah.
Ashley said, we're the ones locking it up, making sure all the windows are shut. And often we felt a strange presence. Suddenly we see figures in our peripheral vision, but then there's no one there.
That's called
Typical shadow figure shit.
shadow figures.
Now to the Gray
Wow.
Lady. The Sellars claim to have smelled the Gray Lady's lavender perfume.
Oh,
multiple
Katie
times.
called it. She's a freak.
Super freak.
She a
Super
Now,
freak.
Jim Beal,
Super psychic.
Jim Beal, a local
I felt
counselor
it. I felt it.
who lived in the building for 27 years. He's the last person to truly live in this residence.
Mhm.
Said, there's always been local rumors about the Gray Lady for as long as I can remember, but no one's ever gotten to the bottom of it.
Okay.
The director of renovation, Mark Payne, added to the roster of ghosts who call the building home, saying, there's a talk of an army officer, maybe a captain, haunting the building. I was never a
Who wants to
believer in
see
things like
that?
this until this job, and now I'm definitely open-minded about it.
my entire water bottle cap just came off and spilled, I would say, 2 liters of water onto my pant
I
and
thought you
shirt
were
front.
surprised.
I was surprised by the water.
Like,
For a second,
like
I thought you were
didn't
doing a fun spit take.
So did
No.
And this is why you subscribe to our YouTube, so you can see goofs like this happen that you don't get on the audio podcast.
I splorched. I blame the paranormal. I'll be back. I'm still listening. Carry
No
on.
worries. But that is the end of the current occurrences being experienced by the brothers Sellars and their team while renovating the Kiora Hall, which is going to be used for the Northeast Autism Society.
Well, at least those kids will have something new to be afraid of as soon as it becomes.
or excited
The
about,
Autism
you know,
Society.
like 50 Shades of Grey is gonna be there, and like that's exciting.
True.
It is. Do you think there's a lot of 50 Grades of Shade or 50 Shades of Grey fans amongst the youth in England right now?
Oh, I guess how old were the kids?
I don't. It doesn't say. The only thing I know about the children is
I'm
that
like
they're
thinking
autistic.
of like a high school. Yeah, I was like thinking about like a high school thing. But
Listen, nowadays,
like,
and kids are getting sexier and sexier, younger and younger. Wait, that's not the way I meant to phrase
Well,
that.
clip
I
it,
meant
clip
kids
it,
are
No,
doing.
clip
it's
it.
not.
Clip it.
Anyway, everyone, thanks for
I
listening
feel
to
like that was
this
my
week
fault.
of Weird with
It's
special
going
guest
to be the
Katie Bowman.
same age as everyone from Beverly Hills 90210, the original.
Listen, when
They're
you
all
watch
35.
when you watch Werewolf Radar, every so often you get powerful audio evidence with which to blackmail one of us. That's just the way it is. That's part of the
new
bonuses
crew member every episode.
every episode. So have fun extorting whatever you want from Roger, really.
This week, and then it'll be Jordan next week.
It'll be me next week.
The
You can
kids.
Go on.
Oh, I don't know. I was just like, I get it though. It's like Euphoria, you know,
Yeah.
like all this stuff.
The
I mean,
kids
I was watching Euphoria and I was like attracted to all these people, and then I was like, I feel like a pedophile, and then
I won't watch it on that basis alone.
And once again, this is all about
But
how
And then you
everyone
saw
will
Martha
find the
Kelly.
Gray Lady very sexual.
Wait, but they're all in their 20s, so I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, like
And,
okay, at least
yeah.
they're
Well,
not.
now
like,
this is a
you know.
different podcast that we should call "Is Riverdale Child Porn?"
No, this is a different podcast. Who's gonna get canceled first?
this is why we need Roger's erotic writings every month.
Every month in our
Every
Patreon.
time.
All you need
Hot,
is $5 a month
cryptid-
to get what I think is sexual.
cryptid uncryptid action. The what is it? The fucking the
It's new every month,
Mothman.
Jordan. You
The
can't keep up
Mothman
with
on
what
the
I find
Chupacabra.
pleasurable.
The Hopkins
Mothman.
Riverdale. Here come the Southside Snakes.
But but anyway, that's been this week of Weird. Construction workers in Stockton, England, working on the historic Kiora Hall, are being plagued with paranormal encounters.
Oh yeah.
Check it out, werewolfradar.com for the news story. Also, check us out on Twitter, Instagram. Give us a 5-star review anywhere you can. Apple Podcast and Stitcher are great places to do it. Plus, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfradar, where you can help support us produce 3 paranormal shows every week for you to get your paranormal information from. Because let's face it, you're sick
Jollies
of those
off.
ads about guns, bullets, and beans
Yeah.
from coast to coast. We don't have any of that
yeah.
here.
On this podcast, you'll
Yeah.
only get commercials from the guns, bullets, and beans that I'm selling out of my truck. They are homemade, bespoke guns, bullets, and beans by Jordan.
Support local guns, bullets, and beans
It's
here at Werewolf Radar.
It's a big jar. It's one jar with a gun in it that won't come out, and it's also filled with bullets and beans, like those kind of one jar pastas that you see.
Right.
It's
and like
pretty
if you
delicious.
guess the
It's
correct
pretty
number
delicious.
of beans,
Yeah.
you get to take one shot at whoever you want,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
legal.
Yeah,
It's
see,
pretty
Nate's
delicious.
done it a few times. He's very good at guessing.
Now let's
And
wrap
you're
up this
lucky if
episode.
it's beans.
Mhm.
Katie, I know we prepped you on our sign-off line. Try to keep up if you can. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Suspect
the
the
void.
void. Face
Face
first person ever.